Welcome back. In this quick tutorial, we're just going to show you how to set up a Saasu client with Invitbox. As you see, I have just previously registered an Invitbox account. So I've registered as Saasu test2 at invitbox.com, and as you can see here, at the end of the registration process, I have been sent the file from the Invitbox mail server. So what we're simply looking at now is the Invitbox admin screen. You'll also notice that I have open my Saasu account. Now, my Saasu account is a test file account called Sandbox. Yours will obviously be slightly different. But within Invitbox, when you go to admin for the first time, there's a series of little sort of steps you need to walk through in order to set up your Invitbox account so it links properly to your accountancy software. But with Saasu, this is so very simple, I would even suggest you could just close that if you wanted. But in Saasu, if you go to Settings and then to Web Services, you'll basically see a File ID and a Web Services access key. Now you can reset this and it just rotates. So you can just have a look at those. In Invitbox admin, simply go to your accountancy software settings and choose that you are a Saasu client. Under software settings, edit, you'll be asked to copy the file ID and that web services access key from Saasu. So I'll simply do that now. And OK. Now you'll be asked to basically go into setup for supplier cards. Now you'll notice in Saasu, if I go to contacts, I have some suppliers set up in here already. So I would want those suppliers, and also if I just show you the chart of accounts, my chart of accounts, I want those to come through into Invitbox. So simply supplier cards, setup, import from Saasu. 20 supplier cards have been brought in. Close. Set up for GL codes. Import from Saasu. 108 GL codes have been created. Now what I have also done is I have just gone and sent in a couple of invoices to Invitbox for the first time. So you'll notice here 2 invoices have come in, one from Restaurant Diary and the second from Flora Pest Control. Now you'll notice in admin under supplier cards that Flora Pest Control is already there, so it was already a supplier within Saasu. Restaurant Diary wasn't. So I'm just going to show you how the workflow is for receiving invoices from suppliers, one of which is in Saasu already, one of which isn't. So Restaurant Diary, let's jump forward to Flora Pest Control first. So I want to find a map, see if anyone has ever created a map for Flora Pest Control. There we go. One map is being created by other people, so I'm going to try that one. And it looks like we've got a good data extraction. So these are the pieces of information that we've extracted. These are the line items that we've extracted. This is the math on the line items that we do. This is what we've extracted from the footer. So if the footer of the invoice, what we extract, equals the math on the line items we extract, we've got a pretty good match. So I'm going to use that map. Now to do that first I need to create a supplier. So I'm just going to go add a supplier, and this is adding a supplier in Invitbox. So we take the ABN, run off to the Australian Business Registry, and we bring back the trading names for that company. So I'm going to choose Flora Pest Control, or let's say I just wanted to call it Flora PC, I could change that. So I need to now link a supplier card to it. So Flora. Groups we'll touch on in a later tutorial. I have no groups at the moment, so I'll leave that blank. And I put a default GL code. So I'm just going to put that as other expense, office expense. Now it asks here for a number of days credit. So this is 30 days. So I'm just going to put 30 days in there, and from here we'll then produce a due date. Click OK, and click Use Map. Mapping was successfully applied. So this is asking, do I want to apply that map that I've just chosen and try it against the other invoices in the unknown? So why not? Let's click yes. This is basically saying, do we want that map that we've just created or used to be the best map and first map that we ever try? It's not really an important question, so I'm just going to click cancel. You'll notice that Flora Pest Control now goes into the in tray for the approvals process. Now, when we get to Restaurant Diary, so we can just go through the same process. Has anyone created one for Restaurant Diary? The answer is yes. Two maps have been created. One is someone has created a line item map which will extract product code. Someone's created a service map, so they're really just interested in the description. So I'm going to try both of those. Actually, I think I'm going to try the line item one. I want to extract out this code. Everything else looks good. Again, I'm going to add a new supplier. Restaurant Diary. I'll just call it Restaurant Diary, get rid of the long description. Again, now we've no supplier card here for Restaurant Diary. So we can leave that blank, leave group blank. Default GL code again, we'll also stick it down as other expenses this time. Trading terms are not mentioned, so I'll just put in that we normally take, let's say, 30 days again. So use map, best map, not a problem. It's in here. Now, so I can basically, as an approver, I'll approve that invoice and I'll approve this one. No problem, they look good. From the Approve tab though, I will be able to sign off on Flora Pest Control, which will move it to the Signed Off tab, but I won't be able to do it for Restaurant Diary because we haven't attached a supplier card to the supplier. So the way it works with Saasu is you've got to maintain your suppliers in Saasu. So we need just to jump to Saasu, add a supplier. So basically here I'm going to call it a supplier, and I'm going to call it Restaurant Diary. And save. So when we look at our supplier list in Saasu now, Restaurant Diary is there. I need to come to the admin section of Invitbox again. I need to go to supplier cards, and I just need to import from Saasu again. So one new card has come in, which will be Restaurant Diary. I need to associate that card to the supplier, so I just need to jump into the suppliers section of company information. You'll notice here that Flora has a supplier card already attached to it. Restaurant Diary hasn't. I need to edit that. Choose the new supplier card. Click OK. And now when I go back to the Approve tab, I will be able to sign off on Restaurant Diary. Both of these invoices are now in the Signed Off tab, and at my leisure I can simply export to Saasu. Two invoices were exported to Saasu and have been moved to the filing cabinet, so they will be found in here. When you do a search for completed invoices from Flora Pest Control and put in a date range, that invoice will come up. And if we go to Saasu now and we go to purchases, you'll see that there are two purchases that have come in to Saasu. And that's the setup and exporting into Saasu.